Hey there, if you struggle with posing, you are not alone. Posing is hard. It's really hard. And chances are one of these 10 red flags that I'm about to break down for you and give solutions for are part of your problem. Posing requires you to have a personal connection with your client. It requires you to also be able to maintain that connection and create an experience while also figuring out what you want to do posing wise, clearly express what you want so that they understand you, and keep their confidence up, keep your confidence up, all while getting your settings right, picking the right location, and finding amazing light. No wonder new photographers, even moderately experienced photographers, even pro photographers like myself, who've done this for over 15 years, we struggle sometimes. It can be hard to make people feel completely themselves and natural with a camera, photographing their every move. So what I'm going to do today is break down 10 red flags that you may be missing in your posing experience. These are subtle things that are very easy to miss. Once I make you aware of them, you might start spotting them immediately when you start shooting, and you will have the tools now to fix them. So the tips that I'm talking about today are surface level. They're visual adjustments that are going to polish up your poses. But if you struggle with the fact that you can't get people to like you, you can't get people to really enjoy the experience they're having with you, if that is your struggle, I have a free class that will teach you the foundations of creating a posing experience that leave your clients raving, which you have to have if you're going to be successful. There's a link below. Check that out. I'll explain more at the end of this video. Red flag number one is that your clients look stiff and rigid. They look like mannequin-like. They just don't look like themselves. And a lot of times this is because if there's a part of your client's body that can bend, it should bend, right? So we don't want straight wrists. We don't want straight elbows. We don't want straight knees. We want everything to be slightly bent, because someone that's posing even just for headshots, if they're like this with their hands straight, it's going to look weird. But if they slightly bend their wrist, it looks a little bit more natural. You want anything that can bend should slightly be bent. That's going to take the more rigid, mannequin-like look that's really stiff and doesn't look great into a more natural, authentic, genuine pose that your couples will feel looks more like themselves. Red flag number two is that your client, at least one of them, has serial killer eyes, which is basically you're seeing too much of the white of your client's eyes. It looks like this. They're turned in towards maybe like their significant other, and you tell them to look at the camera, but their nose doesn't change, so their eyes just come with you. All this white is way too much. Or the bride, like her eyes are looking down, you tell her to look at the camera and her eyes come up like this, but it's more like this. And it's like, whoa, 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 that got really scary really fast. And I don't know why. It's because there's too much of the whites of their eyes showing towards the camera. The solution to that is either the photographer needs to change the position. I literally am looking at their eye placement. If I go up or down or to the side, I can move and watch their eyes move to get into a more natural place where the whites of the eyes are minimizing and it looks more like a normal smile, a normal look, a normal glance. You are the only person that can help direct them and lead them into more of a pose that looks like their eyes are more natural, more approachable, and less weird. For lack of a better word. So red flag number three, your client's legs just look awkward. This isn't going to happen for everybody, but for some clients, especially clients with longer legs, sometimes when you're walking, it just looks weird. Sometimes when they're sitting, their legs just look weird. They look forced, they look unnatural. How can we make them look more relaxed? Cross the legs, cross at the ankles. If the ankles are crossed when they're sitting down on the steps and the legs are off to the side, it looks more natural, and compositionally it looks better. When a client is walking, especially a female is walking, you want to have her legs crossing one over the other. It's very flattering, it creates more of an hourglass shape with her hips, and it's great for composition. So if you ever feel like something's missing, something is just not quite right with the legs, try crossing the ankles, and that may be your perfect solution. Red flag number four is that you only have a memorized collection of like a couple poses, and you just do that on repeat. This is a problem because it starts to become rigid, repetitive, and not every couple is going to be able to do exactly what your rigid set, predetermined list of poses are. My solution for you is to have more of a flow with your poses, more of a system that allows you to like ebb and flow with different ideas. And there's core poses that create a foundation, but then you get to do a lot of variety from those core poses. And so an evolution type posing system allows you to have variety without ever getting stuck. I could talk about this for hours, literally, because I have an entire system that teaches this. It's called the KJ Posing Evolution, and it is in my posing course. There's more information below, but let's keep going to number five. Red flag number five is that your clients appear larger through your viewfinder than they are in real life. This is a big problem. You definitely don't want to pose them in a way that makes them look bigger than they are in real life. That's like the biggest photography mistake you can make for your clients. So What's the solution? The solution is you want to make sure that your client's hips are not closer to the camera than their head. For example, if they're in a prom pose and the bride is like leaning back because he's pulling back, then all of a sudden the client's hips and torso are closer to the camera because their head's leaning back. The solution is making sure that they lean towards the camera and the hips are away, because whatever is closest to the camera is going to appear larger. You want the head and the shoulders to be closer to the camera so that they appear slightly larger than the hips. The hips are going to be minimized when you have that slight lean. And so that can be used in a variety of different core poses. Ideally, whenever you're shooting full body, you really pay attention to this the most. If you pop a leg, just one little leg, and your hips go away from the camera, then you can lose 1 to 2 dress sizes in your hips simply by using this tip alone. Red flag number 6 is that you don't adjust your posing approaches to meet the needs of your specific couple. So you show up at a shoot and you have all these ideas you want to do and you're trying all the poses, but you're not taking into consideration the fact that like he's 3 feet taller than her, or wow, they are a little bit shorter than you thought, or maybe they have a more stockier build and like prom pose is not going to be the most comfortable thing for them. And so as a photographer, trying to get a couple who like the physicality of who they are is not going to make it possible for them to do some of these poses. It's a little bit inconsiderate, and it's you being more obsessed with your creativity and like what you want to do than to think through the cares and the needs of your client. And so my recommendation is, as soon as you see your clients walking towards you, if you've never seen them before, have a meter in your head of like, okay, they're going to do great with this core pose. They're going to do great with this pose. Oh, I think we should try this. And also be noting what you don't want to try. Because when you accidentally get them into a pose that you should have been able, as a professional photographer, you should have been able to see it coming. This is going to be a struggle. We don't ever want to put them in that situation because that can kill the entire experience to be in a pose that just doesn't go that well or doesn't work for a specific couple with a specific build or a specific body or specific height. So you want to look out for that and know in your mind, filter through your mind what's going to work and what's not. Red flag number 7 is your clients may have a compressed chin. Let's be honest, this is a very nice way of saying they have a double chin. Basically, their chin is just compressed too tightly towards their neck, and it's sometimes very hard to address this and fix this without your client feeling self-conscious. Because as soon as you mention anything with the chin, they get self-conscious because they know, oh, I have a double chin. It's everyone's worst fear. I don't want to have a double chin. So the solution for this is not to say like, look up, because that's exactly what your clients are going to do. Instead, the solution is to say, you know what, I'm going to have you bring your forehead towards me. If a compression is the problem and the chin is pushed way far back towards the neck, causing the double chin, then the solution is to bring the forehead towards the camera. And when you say, hey, let's adjust something with your forehead, your clients aren't immediately thinking, oh, it's because I have a double chin. They're thinking, oh, I just need to move my forehead further towards the camera. I'm going to listen and pay attention. They're not processing that you're actually fixing a neck and a chin issue. All right, red flag number 8 is compressed arms. So we just talked about compressed chins. What are compressed arms? Compressed arms are when the arms are too tight against the torso. This can actually happen on accident when someone is nervous. And a bride or a client, even a groom, anybody can fall into this category simply by being too tight and rigid, and they're pulling their elbows way too close to the torso, when in reality the solution can be, simple solution, we just need some breathing room. Do you have to see a space? Do you have to have an arm on the hip? No, but simply pinching the dress can pull the elbow out. We can create that space. The arm is going to look double the size if it's flattened against the body, if it's compressed against the body. And so we just want to create some breathing room, and that can just be a pinch of the dress. It could be hand on the hip. It could even be holding a piece of hair. There's ways to open up the compression and make sure there's breathing room so that your clients look more natural and you are not accidentally photographing a certain part of their body in a way that doubles its size and makes them self-conscious later. Red flag number 9 is that you're shooting up their nose. What does this mean? I think, especially a lot of beginner photographers, you can train yourself to see this, but a lot of beginner photographers don't realize that they're shooting at a park, but their clients are slightly on a knoll. This is really important if you are short. If you are a shorter photographer, this might be the most important point that I tell you, because you may not realize that you are constantly shooting from underneath your client because you are shorter and they are taller. I have friends of mine that literally carry step stools around because they recognize I'm almost always shorter than my clients. And so if I'm shooting close to them, like my proximity is very close to them, then I have to be elevated. It may just be that you've never even thought about like, oh yeah, I did that one session where they were looking slightly down at me and I didn't realize it until later. now that you know, you can look at the lay of the land. The solution is to look at the lay of the land and be able to recognize like, okay, we're going to shift like 15 feet this way because the light will be the same, but the land dips slightly and I will be on a more even playing field. You never want to feel like you are shooting and looking up at your clients. You want them looking slightly up at you. Another solution could be if you can't change your location, if you can't move where they are, maybe because lighting is going to be different if you just move like a foot to the left or the right, the solution would be that you want to have them tilt slightly towards you. So what happens is that when they lean towards you, the plane of focus that you are focusing on is becoming more equalized and more at the same level that you are at. That this is in a worst case scenario situation, because that's actually what I call an advanced pose when I am working with my engaged couples or my family portraits even. Having someone lean towards you without looking awkward takes a lot of confidence and it takes a lot of instruction. So that is in a worst case scenario. But I have used that trick a lot on wedding days where the client wants something in some setting and I can't get it because of the way the topography of the land is or the way the elevation is. I will use that lean forward trick to make it work. The 10th and final red flag is if your clients are saying to you while you're shooting, while you're setting things up in between shots, is this what we're supposed to be doing? Like, does this look right? And they're nervous and they're not confident and they're having to ask you if they're doing the right thing. There's so much wrong with that. Don't feel shame if that's happening to you, but just be thankful that now you know this is a red flag. It's not a good thing if your clients are asking, am I doing this right? Because it tells me that you are not instructing enough, you are not specific enough, and you are not paying attention to the needs of your client. My goal and my mission at every session is to make sure my clients feel nothing but excitement and confidence. Right? There's no room in my sessions for clients to ever feel like, oh, am I doing this the right way? I don't leave space for them to say anything. I don't leave space for them to get a little bit weird and awkward. They don't hold their poses that long. There's so much to this. The reason why I have a free class, it's an hour long. It goes in depth about the foundational ways to create a great client experience. The reason I created it is because I've watched hundreds, maybe even thousands of photographers photograph their clients, and it is painful. I have a friend in the wedding industry who actually sees people shoot all the time, and she's like, Katelyn, I have to walk away. I can't listen to these photographers and how awkward and forced and miserable their sessions are. And I want to fix that. I'm on a mission to fix that in the photography industry because I think there's a way. All it takes is some key components and a general understanding how to be a great people person, how to build confidence as a photographer, and combine that with a really strong and strategic posing system. And I can teach you all of that. I have a free class. It's linked below. You don't have to do anything except sign up and show up, and I will meet you there. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was helpful. I can't wait. If you try out some of these red flags, you use the solutions at your next session and you see improvement, I want to hear about it. Leave it in the comment below. I will see it. Our team will see it. And I appreciate you being here, engaging with our channel. Don't forget the free class. Sign up. The link is below. I will see you in there and we can spend even more time together diving into posing solutions that will transform your client experience. Bye.
Bye.